Hi, welcome to Stockin' Knit Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as J Knitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 202. Hello.
And we have Max.
We have Max. How are you, Max? How have you been? Amy's been buttering him up. She asked if he'd lost a little weight.
I did.
This is a kind of shortened, abbreviated week, since last week we recorded on a Thursday, and this week we are recording on a Tuesday because we are headed to Madison, Wisconsin for the January Thaw put on by the fabulous Sun Valley Fibers. And so we decided that we would do a knit-trospective. Knit-stalgia, aka knit-stalgia. And we don't have any drawings. We do have the Deja Q cowl going on, which has gotten some great entries and chatter out in the Ravelry forums. If you're not already a board member on the Ravelry forums, you should go join. It's a fun place. I love all the interactions. I made like a personal, I haven't been out to a forum and commented, and so you may have seen like a slew of my comments recently, but I was like, I'm going to be out there and try to comment more.
Okay. Like a resolution.
Yeah. Like a Ravelry resolution.
Okay.
Speaking of resolutions, still have the resolution to try to do a pull-up.
Okay.
I was doing push-ups this evening before I got into my fancy podcasting attire. And my husband was like, you didn't used to be able to do push-ups. How many did you just do? And I was like, well, I did just 15 right there, but I might crank out a few more trying to make my arms really tired. And he's like, and then he did 20 or something to top me, and then was like, that's tough. I don't know how many push-ups you guys do in your CrossFit, but
I don't know. I had to do a bajillion burpees today. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Which, if you start strong and you feel strong, sometimes you're tempted to do a push-up with your burpees, which is that's just the way to tire yourself out.
Advanced burpitude.
Yeah, but I didn't do that. It was good. But
I showed restraint on the
I did. Yeah, they were the bar facing, so you had to jump over something after you completed one. And yeah, it was not happy. I'm going to do some math in my head about how many I did because it was in sets. So maybe I can share it when I have the total.
Yeah. So I'm still trying on the upper body strength. It just hasn't risen to the I actually can do it phase yet. One of those weird binary things, right? Either you can do it or you can't. There's not a halfway, right?
I was going with
do or do not.
There's over 60 burpees. But there was also thrusters in there.
I don't want to know what a thruster is, apparently.
Lots of stuff sounds dirty.
Okay. I ate a pickle today and was kind of burpy.
I attest to that. You've been kind of burpy.
Any other odds and ends before we jump into the knit-stalgia?
No. I've been excited about the retreat, or I'm trying to get there, last minute getting everything done is kind of stopping some of the excitement from overflowing, but yeah. Told Megan I was Googling places to work out while I was there.
Woot woot.
So I am thinking about it, so.
How about you, Nana? Everything good with you? Oh, thanks for the kiss. So the theme of our knit-stalgia this week is refinishing, which I think is kind of a fun way to put it. I've been watching some HGTV, and they refinish tables.
Okay.
And they refinish floors. So I guess that kind of makes it sound like it's wood-related, refinishing. But you can also refinish knits. So I think we could also come up with an acronym. It could be an RFO, a refinished object.
Mm.
And I do a of it. I went through my closet and grabbed out things. Amy and I both have cardigans that we recently knit and just, like, serious. Like his whiskers are like in my peripheral vision. We really appreciate your appearance. If you're not a cat person, I'm sorry. Max is interrupting the podcast. So Amy, did you want to talk about your refinishing?
So I was wearing this last week, and I put in the zipper over the weekend. I was hoping that it would close more, but it does close. It's just like when you get the I don't know, when I'm sitting down and it's kind of bubbled,
Yep.
you can see the zipper. So
Everything with the zipper does that. I have a hoodie that does that.
yeah, so
zippers just generally, they're not flat pieces of fabric, right?
they're not as go with the flow. They do have like stiff.
They're biased.
Yes. So I'm trying to show you, like, laying down, standing up, it looks like this. So it looks pretty good, decently sewn in. I didn't do a whole lot of, like, engineering in there, so I could seam rip it out and redo it. It was just hand stitched, so not quite as troublesome to rip out.
Yeah, traumatic if it were wrong to rip out all of those stitches through the yarn.
Yep. But just
looks nice.
My only woe was that I bought the wrong zipper the first time, and I didn't realize it until I was trying to sew it in and went, it wasn't a separating zipper. I think I got dazzled by color and went to the, like, there's a very narrow separating column in all the zippers, and you vary off of that section and you don't get separating zippers anymore. So remedied that. It doesn't go all the way to my collarbone, but I'm okay with that. I like how it separates, and I probably wouldn't zip it more than that anyway. And I could have bought a longer zipper. I just chose this one, and it's a lightweight. They had sweater zippers, and they were a lot heavier duty. This is the lightweight, so I like the lightweight one better.
I've been noticing in a lot of, like, Athleta and Prana, like the catalogs that I get that I don't remember requesting, because it kind of seems like it's wasteful.
You got on a mailing list.
Yes, that they have a lot of sweaters are now that zip, and they zip from both directions, so that you can have it be kind of like a free flowing one.
Yeah, and they had those at the store too. Not as many color options there either. So I could, like, go back and leave.
I always have trouble getting those zipped, though.
Oh, okay, keeping them.
Yeah, because they're just so, flexible and can work in any way.
So my winter jacket is one of those because it's so long. It has to be able to zip up just so you can like function and sit without.
I was just commenting that seemed to be a trend that I had noticed in pop.
I did not knit these, but I finished them by putting letters.
Awesome.
So that's part of our bunting project that we might have mentioned here before, but if you had forgotten about it, we're planning to tie them all together. I do have the rest of the letters, and I do plan on sewing them on, but I was hoping to get one from you and one from Karen before I finish up, give myself some more options about
color
combos.
Or color sequences.
Yes, but these two are actually enough bigger than the rest of the ones that I got that it made sense to make them the main letters.
Oh, fun.
So I thought, okay, no brainer, I'll sew these on for sure. And then we can go back and fill in the rest a little later. There's plenty of time. But I do have enough of them now that I could go ahead and do that.
And then hopefully lots just come with folks.
Yes. But after this weekend, I will dedicate to getting this done.
My button band, as Amy predicted, was not long for this world. So I ripped it out. I washed the sweater. I used new yarn because the old yarn had kind of, not felted, but it definitely decided that it liked being close to the stitches, you know, like kind of settled in and got comfortable. And so I had a bunch of leftover. I blocked it really wide, which in after hindsight here, afterthought, made the neck a little wide because I had pinned it out like this.
Oh, okay.
So when I wash it again, I'll probably reblock it such that the neck isn't as wide. And I was trying to show Amy, it doesn't fit on real well with these little half sleeves that like to bunch up right here to keep it from going. But I picked up far less stitches. I made these the band 2 more rows, so a little more to meet in the middle. And I had 9 buttons, and so I made 9 buttonholes. So not only do I have far less stitches in the band, I also have far less stitches in between because there's more buttons to button, which seemed to take this is like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood here, like an inordinate amount of time to button and unbutton. But very, very happy that I did do it. Sometimes the decision to rip out or redo is sometimes the hardest part. Like actually doing it took me less than a Saturday afternoon of doing odds and ends and changing the cat litter and whatever. And it lays down really nicely. When I'm seated, it doesn't. It's kind of like with your zipper, it causes it to bunch just because it will. But it's ta-done. Re-ta-done, I guess. Fixed. I ended up washing it again after I blocked it to make the button band kind of match in, because again it gets a little bit of it was looking a lot different than the other band pre-wash, and I wanted it to fit in. So, and I've worn it to work and gotten some compliments. It's very warm. If that cold weather streak comes back, I could definitely be wearing this guy right here.
Yeah.
Very, very warm. And then another recent, I guess I could mention recent ones, refinishing that I have done, is my husband was not wearing his flax sweater. He originally had said it was because it was too warm, but then when pressed, because he was riding in sub-zero temperatures, like, you think you could use the warmth now? Like... And he was like, well, actually, it's because the neck is really wide, and I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. So I was like, okay, well, I can remedy that. So this is his flax, and the original neckline is the lighter color here. And as you can see, it was fairly wide, and I think that that's a design feature of the sweater because they don't have the neck. It's not written so that you do any decreases in the ribbing, and they keep the ribbing the same amount. So for bigger sizes, the neck hole is going to be proportionately a lot larger. Whereas I don't think necks get that much larger the bigger that you are in your bust.
Right.
Really. I mean, not, again, proportionally. Anyway, so I ended up, this is knit from the top down. I briefly experimented with trying to unravel the cast on and quickly realized that was not going to work, so I just ended up picking up stitches, and you can see the line, A, because the color is from the bottom here, which ended up being a little darker, and B, because that's not a direct one-to-one there. But he absolutely loves it. He's worn it. He's out on a bike ride tonight, and I had to tell him to take it off so I can show it off on the podcast. I worked a few decreases in here, kind of a la brioche, so I actually knit 3 together to keep the ribbing intact. It's a 1x1 ribbing, and refinished, and now he's wearing it. So
yes, I was telling Megan that my Nanny Swimo sweater has to be
for your husband,
has to be refactored somehow so that he wears it. It grows while it's on the body, so I don't know. It's obviously because I had a lot of substitutions, but I also think that the pattern itself, that brioche on top and bottom, like they did not plan on the needle size difference that it really needed to be to not grow so much. But I
and is that written for fingering held double?
It is.
And you didn't do that.
No.
Yeah. So I wonder if that
probably also
gave
helped.
it a little
yeah.
bit of tensile strength.
Yes. No, and yeah, it was probably more, my failing.
Well,
I could end up at this point. I almost would rather rip the whole thing out and re-knit him a different sweater. Like, that's where I'm at.
Reclaim
with this.
the yarn.
Yeah, reclaim the yarn.
That is also a refinishing option.
It's true.
So we've got pick up and add. You also had like and I mentioned it to you when we were texting. It was like the gnarled oak. Mm-hmm. Didn't you have like a big pooch at the top of the sleeve that you ended up redoing?
It still has positive ease in there, so I wasn't sure how much I redid it.
Okay, I swear you talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, there was some sweater that there was way too much on the top, and I did take it out and take a couple rows off the top. Mm-hmm. But that particular sweater still has positive ease, so I don't know if it was that sweater. I did not take it out completely.
Mm-hmm. This is my Rocky Coast cardigan. I knit it with fingering held double. It's a really nice cashmere blend from knitwear.com. I've had mixed result. This was a really nice blend. I knit the AD, and it felted like no other. Not this base, but another one from that knitwear.com. But this wasn't a yarn issue. I really like the yarn. It's very smushy and soft. The design of this open front cardie, it's the Rocky Coast cardie, I think I already said that, it just doesn't stay on my wide shoulders. Like, it just wants to fall off and flit off. Like, even just sitting here not moving around, it seems like it doesn't want to stay over on my shoulders at all. So I added afterthought. I crocheted buttonhole here and went and found 2 buttons at Ginny's, and it doesn't, I mean, it's not a true closed front cardigan with that addition. You know, it still kind of flits away here, but it stays on a heck of a lot better. So I wear it to work fairly often. It's not, my rotation doesn't have this in it as much anymore, but it definitely was a fix. Another fix for things that aren't laying quite right that I had mentioned last week with my Tiber cardigan was you can also sew down the button bands, which Corey taught me. I don't know why it never occurred to me at the time, but I put these buttons on. This garter band is very stretchy, this lace is very stretchy, and it doesn't create a firm fabric for the button bands to really adhere to. And I'm not in the business of really open fronty Henleys. So I just tacked it down, and it always looks really nice now. I guess alternatively I could have just done like a faux button band here and just seamed it instead of having the 2, but I think it adds to the illusion that it's an actual functioning button band if you have both layers and buttonholes and then have the buttons poke through. So and this is my Lucrezia out of the Marigold Gen colorway for ZK. Yes, I wear it a lot. I was just noticing that it probably could do with a wash. And then last but certainly not least was this is a Himpathy bottoms up. It's a free pattern. I learned through the process of this project that you need to measure your, it's knit from the bottom up, that you need to measure your length with ribbing when it's stretched. So I finished this and happily was wearing it and kind of realized A, I'm a mom and probably shouldn't be bearing my midriff, and B, I'd really like some sleeves. So I added the garter ribbing at the garter edge at the bottom here to give it another 2 inches, which makes it sit a little better. The garter, which I probably could have done with my husband's neckline, makes it look less like I'm trying to fix something, like you don't see that line there and then have ribbing on the other side. So I think that's why I chose the garter. It looks more intentional, like this page intentionally left blank. And then the sleeves, I just kind of matched the motif. There is kind of a double ridge And I can see where I probably would have picked stitches up a little differently nowadays as I'm looking at it. But it was a nice modification after the fact. And I haven't worn it in a while, so while I was going through my closet, I was like, oh, I should wear that more often. Mm-hmm. And that's refinishing. So, again, go out to the Ravelry forums and let us know some of your pro tips, because I feel like those are tools that you can put in your tool belt that after you wear it a couple times, don't feel like you're locked into it and just never wear it. Kind of like the Tiber. Like, every time I wore that, I would have been like, oh, this button band, why didn't I redo it, right? Like, sometimes just making the decision to add some buttons even though they're not part of the design, or tack down the button band because it's not working for you, rather than not wearing it.
Yep.
Is the smarter way to go, because we do invest a great deal of time into these projects, and to not wear them because of something, just a little more time investment yields a garment that you actually wear, then that's worth it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, kernel of truth. Sending it out to you. Finished objects.
I don't have anything.
Okay. I finished in record time my husband's SKUs. I am officially addicted to this colorway, and B, this sock pattern. Crazy. Holding them up the wrong way. They are a little tight through the instep. Okay. He has big man arches. And I did modify this. So if I don't know if I'll be able to visually show you or not with this other one. The kind of origami moment where you secure down and Kitchener the bottom increased gusset stitches, and the bottom increased gusset stitches creates this heel cup that I really like. But on his, I knew it needed to be deeper. Like, we needed more this way, and I also needed probably more through this section. So I did more increases. So the stitch count is higher than what's called for in the pattern. And then I decreased less rapidly on this side. And so it's not exactly centered, this heel cup. But my husband absolutely loves the way they fit. So I'm like trying to teach him how to zhuzh socks over that kind of tight instep. And he's like, these are going to fit really good. So I think he's at first wanted me to do really slouchy socks, and now he's like 100% wants a nice fitted sock. Okay. So he likes the toes, and he likes the arch being a little more fitted. Gave me some feedback on this is just a knit 2 purl 1 ribbing, and he didn't like that. He would have rather have had it been a little tighter of a ribbing, because this kind of flares a little bit. But mornings...
Does it flare on his foot?
No, not that much. Not noticeably.
Then he needs to get over it.
And he will wear them once I allow him to wear them, because I need to podcast about them. But this is Tuesday mornings in the backyard. Mornings in the Backyard by Leading Mid-Fiber Arts. And I don't know, something again about this. It's just not knitting in the round, so I'm hitting milestones, and it just seemed to have flow. And I really like this with self-striping and variegated, because the variegated, if it pools or stripes a little bit, it's just very appealing. And I do like the toe not being as boxy, which I think he likes as well. But I think he's feeling more able to critique.
Oh, yes. After the neck,
his concerns were heard. They were addressed.
Yeah. He didn't offend you or hurt your feelings.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then I did do some sleeve knitting on my white pine. So I finished it up. I really love this yarn while I was knitting with it. And I really like the way that it washed up as well. It's got a really nice hand before and after. And I just wanted to show the sleeve detail before I had it on. So kind of like the side growing, the sleeve detail here, the garter grows until you've got it all the way around as well, which is a very, at the time I was like, this is going to be a nice simple knit. juxtaposed to my full color work cardigan. But I really do like the lines that it creates. I also had to knit the neckline here, and I did make the neckline less plunging. So I started, what did I do? It's knit from the top down. I made, I cast on these stitches sooner than it called for, because I know that I don't really like plunging lines. But I think it looks nice on the body. I think kind of like, it's like not the opposite, but kind of like that prairie fire where it goes around and meets in the back. This kind of draws a nice slimming line. It cuts you, but also has a lengthening line, if we're talking about things that we learned last year at Yarn Over. And the garter at the edging, it growing down into the garter at the edging. I just really like it. And the targhee, again, washed up really nice, and I plan on wearing it this weekend. Yeah. Top down, not set-in sleeves, but like set-in sleeves. Fit nice. Boom.
Cool. I didn't have a plan for what to wear this weekend. I put a couple things in the bag, but
I need to pack not only what I am knitting, which I always pack first, because that's the most important thing, to know just mentally that I will have so many projects with me that I could not possibly knit through all of them. Very important. It just settles my soul. And then I will pack the outfits. I snagged my yarn.
I'm hoping to pull this out and get more done at the thaw, so I pull that out. But who knows? The sweater may get all the love since I've been ignoring it these last few days and have been working on smaller projects. The threshold.
Okay. Yep.
I did not bring that because I did not work on it.
Because you've been ignoring it.
I have been ignoring those bigger projects, and I cast on the Wonder Wander hat.
I saw that.
It's beautiful. So got the Valentine's red.
Very striking.
And so that's starting cool. I need to measure because I think if I did all of the repeats that you called for, it's going to be too tall. Tall hat. Very tall hat. So I just need to reevaluate.
Did you go down the stitch count for gauge? So you might
I did,
yeah,
yes.
so the size might, yeah.
I did. So yeah, I'm just going to go with your, I don't know, I might be able to take out a full repeat is what I'm saying. I was looking at it and it might work.
It might work.
The hope is alive. So I also did a lot of knitting, finishing up on my one sock length sock.
Cool.
So it seems very tall for me.
Did you get exactly to the middle, or?
No, this is just into the orange and not to the pink. It was getting too tall, and I was done. And I kind of liked that it ended with that little pop of the orange at the top, and so I'm like, I'm good. This will be good. So then I grabbed the other end of the sock link and cast on right away so that I wouldn't, I mean, I'll still have a little bit of second sock syndrome, but at least get that toe out of the way here. And
I almost superstitiously do that. Like, so if I cast off, when I cast off this sock, I got the other toe underneath.
Yep, exactly. So those are on their way. Pretty excited about them. Tried them on a couple times yesterday because I don't know, just was excited about that one. Really long.
Do you ever wear the one sock as you're knitting on the other?
No, not so much. I just go back to putting the match on.
Just like visualizing, like, this is what it's going to be like.
Stick a mirror down there. It's already done.
Optical illusion. And you're working on a foliage slide.
Yes, so this got me thinking, I am almost done with that slide sock. I should power through it to the end and cast on that one as well.
Push, Amy, push.
Push. I'm gonna get 2 socks, but they just won't match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. I'm almost done eliminating the fancy part, and then down to plain knitting. So shouldn't be too much longer, and these will be ready to go.
I am a tangent here. I am listening to Felicia Day's autobiography. Yeah. Apparently, I am a star autobiography listener. I just got done with Neil Patrick Harris's, and I'm listening to Felicia Day's, which is everybody is weird on the internet almost. And she was talking about how she never wears matching socks on principle. So you'd send them to Felicia Day, and she could wear non-matching socks.
I have a feeling her feet are smaller than mine.
They
Maybe
might
not.
Be. She's had a very interesting upbringing.
Okay.
Like, went to college on a full ride scholarship at 16 to be a concert violinist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah. I was like completely clueless. I just thought she was like a internet gamer geek. But apparently she has had a very interesting upbringing. And she has read it to me.
Okay.
It's an interesting listen as I knit and walk.
Okay.
Are you done with your works in progress? My only current work in progress is I finished one of my Friends of the Forest skews, and I am rapidly getting to the point where I'll be increasing for that fun origami moment heel construction. I am concerned about running out of yarn. So there's only 320 yards here, and then because of the way that you do this, you want the needles to be even when you unbias it, and so had to make it really tall. Like normally I would just make the sock less short or less tall to save myself yarn, but I needed to get the needles to the same size, so I had to decrease away a lot of the stitches that are increased to make that heel work. So, and then to do the Kitchener, I wanted to get to the purple, and so I unwound 2 colors from the end, and now I'm like, So I did not, I ended on this light purple, and I did not wind off to get to where it's the same color, because again, that would have been a large expanse of yarn.
Yeah.
Almost 5 of the 6 colors. So, we shall see. Sometimes that little bit of mystery of whether or not you're going to run out makes you knit faster. I refuse to believe that my mind thinks that the yarn will last longer if I knit faster. I do think that there's a little bit of I want to find out whether or not it's going to be, like a make it work moment where I'm unwinding yarn from the top of this one to make this one similar length, or I think I want to discover what's going to happen. It's like reading to the end of a book, of a good mystery novel. This is a mystery whether or not I'm going to run out. The suspense is getting me. I guess I could try to count the stripes remaining if I could peer into the middle of the ball.
You haven't weighed it?
I don't know. That would be like looking at the end of the book, Amy. That and sometimes weighing lies.
Okay.
Like, remember when I was knitting my Even Star, and I was certain that I was going to run out of yarn?
And then you ended up with like a ball.
Yeah, that I gave you for your wool lines.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So, but yes, I need to figure out some more projects to take with me, because this is my only current whip. So, got some needle adjacent projects, as I mentioned, in bags. But have to decide whether or not I want color work, or if I just want to relentlessly plug on with this skew trend that I've got going, or because I got lots of self-striping, which, by the way, did not announce at the beginning, but had several people contact about sponsoring. So the Suburban Stitcher, Diane, will be donating a bag, and Desert Vista Dye Works, still ironing out the details on that, but she's going to be donating some yarn. So that's fantastic. Yes. Are you getting excited to do another square for your Persian dreams?
Yes, I am. The hexagon will continue, and it'll probably be very quickly, like that first week or something, like immediately. I want to finish up, because I do kind of want to play with sewing it together to the other one, but
it does. You do need to have two to be able to sew it together.
I do. And then I'll probably want to cast on the third, but nope. Gonna work on my other blankets and try not to do that.
Show restraint, Amy.
Yeah, I know. And with the thaw coming up, I don't know that my whole life challenge scores will be the best, but I do plan on buying snacks soon that should fit into the plan and not derail me.
Somebody today at lunch was eating, they'd gotten from the Good Food Store a chicken salad. I'm completely off the rails here, sorry. This is a knitting podcast. But it was chicken, and instead of like mayonnaise, it was like mashed up avocado, and he put like cashews on it. It looked fantastic. I was like, Jimmy John's sandwich? What? Like, I want what he's having. That looked so good. So many good fats and natural. There's grapes in it. And, it looks so good. I'm just like, my mouth is watering over now thinking about it. But yeah, have to go to the Good Food Store and find said chicken salad. He didn't even eat on bread. He was just eating it straight up. It was fantastic to see. Do you have anything on your shopping list for Sun Valley Fibers Wall of Beautiful Yarn? Nothing? Okay. I'm thinking colorwork something.
I think it's worse to not have a list at this point.
It is. It so is.
But I don't know whether I'll spend my morning daydreaming about that and pick a list, or or maybe I'll get there and I'll get, I don't know, inspired to just have one thing that, like, oh, that's the thing I want to shop for. Just watching what other people are wearing. I don't know. I saw that Corey was trying to tempt us all with worsted MCS. That's the stuff, man. I've loved MCS since Madeline Tosh came out with Pashmina. And that is a fabulous MCS. But yeah, I've got some things on my list. I definitely want to make a checks and balances, which is a skew a knitty pattern that's color work that's just checks. Basically, it's super simple, but the instructions also include for like a mono sleeve, so knitting the whole sleeve and steeking it, and then a steeked neckline. But I've seen people, I went out and checked out projects that didn't steek the neckline, they just made it. So, yep. Which is what I did with my Alvy. I think that called for a possibly steeked neckline as well, or working colorwork flat, neither of which I was comfortable with doing at the time. Yeah, I was thinking I had a more articulate response to that question when I asked you. But I've definitely been eyeballing my queue, and I don't think I've had enough time to completely process that it's this weekend, exactly. Super Bowl weekend, and have to get all of my work done. I don't know, just life. Yes. Tomorrow will be a very busy day. Yes. That is true. And I am just hoping that all work will be wrapped up by the end of the day tomorrow, and I will not be spilling into the next day a.m. before we leave. So, yeah, I don't know, but I'm excited. It'll be fun. Yep. There's been a lot of reminding at work for me. That's great. You can schedule that meeting, but I'm not going to be here. Like, it's not negotiable. I'm sorry. It's not like I'm sticking around in town and trying to go to a doctor's appointment or something. It's like, I'm gone. I'm gone. Which is a good feeling. It's
kind of fun to be able to say that, to pamper ourselves with a vacation.
Yes.
So when you see us next, we shall have exciting knitting stories and hopefully lots of beautiful yarn to show off. Well, maybe not lots. I've got lots of yarn. But
and if you're going to be at the thaw, we'll see you there.
Yes, definitely. Amy will have swag. I will have swag. We will swag. We will swag you up.
Yeah.
My
mom might have given me a coupon code.
Or a coupon, depending on your dialect. Coupon. So yeah, that is the knit-stalgia episode on refinishing. Let us know if you have any cool refinishing stories, and we will see you next week. Bye. Bye, Ufta.